Welcome back to the channel, lads and ladies. Happy day after Christmas, and yes, I had a great time. Thank you. Got some great moments with the tank baby and buying her presents. And she had Uncle Ryan over, and she was all over him. I'm watching right now. She's leaning on him on the couch. She's giving him a big old smile, and she's showing him how she can eat Cheerios. Yeah, she's kind of a flirt. Hi, baby. So, here we are in 4.0 British in Tank Arcade. What are we doing here? Well, earlier in the night, we finished up, and yes, this was Christmas night, with the ladies all in bed and Tank Mommy asleep on the couch behind me. I ground out the air and tank event in fairly quick order, and honestly, just like I said last year, this has been the most painless festive event so far. So Gaijin continues to improve on the event to make it easier to grind through and also easier on the nerves. And it definitely helps if you're having a hard time to connect with the TEC hub community. I didn't have a chance to do that just because I've always had company over, and so it wouldn't be polite of me to be talking on a mic the whole time instead of, ignoring everyone and playing the game with my headphones on the way that I do. So, another thing that you'll notice right away is Gaijin did something with the graphics engine of the game recently after the last update, Supersonic. It was a post-update patch that changed the way that textures render in. So it changed the tessellation, which is a thing, honest, and it also removed a lot of the volumetric lighting effects. I know, don't I sound fancy? Which basically means there's a whole lot less haze, which is something I greatly appreciate. If you look at the sky, the sun is not nuclear and toxic, and even though we have the same graphic settings as the last time we started up the game, now the game is a lot sharper. It almost looks like it's on a lower graphics setting just because everything pops out so nicely. And honestly, I very much appreciate that. You don't need that quite so much in arcade. We're going for assists here, by the way, which is why we're in 4.0 British. The Excelsior is one of those tanks that I really want to feature on the channel, but I haven't really gotten any good footage of it. It tends to get stomped on by Panzer IVs in realistic battles, and I don't play arcade all that much. But in arcade, this thing can very much be a beast. Look at that incredible -2 kph reverse rate. Only the finest of British reverse gears there. Finest being, well, you're not going to have any big teeth on that gear. You're going to make only fine adjustments with that one. And a hit goes into the Stug, doing no real damage, but we're looking for knocking out a crew, setting a fire, or the like, because we want to get an assist. And that shot into the turret of the Panzer IV did not quite enough damage to the turret crew to give us a guaranteed critical hit, so we're still looking for more. Is that a Stromhowitzer? I think it's a Stromhowitzer. He's still, Guppy is just all over Uncle Ryan today. I love it. So at this point in the night, this is actually the last match, and we're going to play in reverse order here. Nice critical hit into the Stuart. That means that when an ally finishes him off, there we go. We get a kill assist, so we can move on. We're playing a little bit cautiously here. No need to rush in. The Excelsior does not do well in that situation anyway, as it's a head-only kind of tank. Notice how we're angling ourselves. We have some fairly reliable side armor, and just, oh, that's too bad. We didn't really want that kill, but a Panzer IV F2 is a rather dangerous target. So, we've mentioned that we're going for assists here. This is the last thing we need for our tanker medal. The easiest way to grind so far has been to grind in Tank RB and then try and get into aircraft to grind the air event. and that is by far the easiest way to get assists. If, again, you get a critical hit on an enemy, and here we are in an aircraft trying to get some critical hits on an enemy, you can pick up a kill assist that way. And in Tank RB, if you're in an aircraft, look at this defensive flying, beautiful, and then he just completely ignores me because this is arcade. As long as there's no hit indicator, I'm perfectly safe. But if you can critically hit people in an aircraft in Tank RB, that's by far the fastest way to get those 6 kill assists. I don't tend to get kill assists in air RB matches because I either finish off my enemy or he finishes me off. But if you're in a squad, you might be able to harvest those in the regular mode. Even so, it's also easier to get kills in Tank RB because you have ground targets. And there we go, intentionally getting some crew damage on that M10 so that we can eventually get a kill assist on it. We're going to harvest a good number of kill assists from arcade, and that's the reason I bring this up. Moving forward, so I grind the air event entirely in Tank RB, and there's 2 reasons for that. It goes faster, you get into matches faster. Oh, even there's a third reason. You can also make progress toward your ground event in the same game mode. So it's by far the fastest way to grind, and if you're going for both medals, which is entirely possible this year. I talked myself into not caring about the tanks, but they're all premium vehicles, so heck yeah, I want 6 free premium vehicles. I'll grind for that. And the M10, we set him a fuego, which will give us a kill assist if he doesn't put the fire out, in which, oh, well, we got the kill. He didn't put the fire out. Oh well, and we accidentally killed that little Italian spaghetti mobile Mark 1. Or was that the French one? I can't tell. They're both very similar. I think that was the French one. My apologies. Anyway, here we are grinding out assists, and Tank Arcade is the fastest way to get assists. It's also a quick way to get kills and victories if you're going for those, as well as base caps. And the reason is, not only does the action shift a lot more in arcade, but the matches tend to be much faster. And that comes down to the speed of the vehicles, and also the fact that if you can get a lot of momentum going, then your team can often steamroll the enemy a lot more effectively in arcade than they can in realistic. Here we are angling, but the enemy is already dealt with. So, what else? For the ground event, I've been having great success as we get a mission complete with 7 kill assists. Those are really going to help us quite a bit. And again, that is going to be the last match of the night. We'll bring you back to the future. In the next video, I'll show you another match we had where I had a lot of fun. And you can see we got some good rewards from that. We've been also making some good progress on Silver Lion's gain, which is definitely necessary now that I'm working on my top tier jets. More of that in the future. So here's a previous match. This is going to be another arcade match, and this one's going to go rather quickly. At this point, I was going for base caps, so I'm running my, what is this? Yeah, 6.3 American lineup. It's 6.3 in RB. I think the battle ratings are still about the same in arcade, but I'm not so familiar. And Guppy is playing with Uncle Ryan. She's bippity bapping him, and he's giving her that look like, "Don't you do it, don't you do it." And she's just giving him the innocent look now. She's got her fingies in her mouth. She's got some Cheerios in there, and she's just watching him. She's really interested in Uncle Ryan. He's a mysterious boy. So here we are in the Super Hellcat, and this vehicle is exactly as much fun in arcade as it is in RB, if not more. You can pull off some ridiculous shenanigans with this speedy boy. Oh, speaking of, I just got done on Christmas Day. I made or was it Christmas Eve? I can't remember. I made a Sonic Gotta Go Fast camouflage for the RU-251 based upon another War Thunder Live user's camouflage, again because my CDK keeps crashing, so I have to reinstall the CDK, I suppose. I need to fix that issue. But until then, I'll just work off of other people's excellent previous work and then make it unrecognizable and meme-tastic. So the cool thing about the Super Hellcat, as we get a nice kill on the ordinary cat, yeah, his all 9 lives got taken down by that 90mm. The great thing about the Super Hellcat in arcade is its ability to get into and out of situations quickly. One of the things that people tend to go for in arcade matches is big guns, which the 90mm on the Super Hellcat at 6.3 still counts as a big gun in my book. I mean, it does one-shot enemy vehicles quite efficiently if it manages to punch through, and with the penetration guide, you definitely have an advantage there over what you would experience in RB, which is by no means insufficient in the case of the Super Hellcat. And then you also want to have the thickest armor possible. Generally, you see a lot more heavy tanks and heavy casemate tank destroyers in arcade battles than you do in RB, and that's on account of how often you're exposed to enemy fire. Can we get some shots into the top of this M10? No, I guess we can't. Or is that a slugger? I think that's actually a slugger. So we're going to go ahead and use the extremely anemic elevator on this Focke-Wulf. It's so bad. Pop some flaps to get on target. Can we get some critical hits? Yeah, nope. Wow, those turret crew are extremely resilient. They've absorbed an appalling amount of spalling. There's no way they're going to survive a second pass. There we go. We take down some crew members. That'll give us, again, a kill assist at some point if that guy does die. So, just about out of time on our attacker. We had a good run there. We got what we were going for. We captured a point, so already this match is a success. There we go. Kill assist. So we're making progress. And at this point, well, it's just time to have some fun. And if you're looking for entertainment, like I said, the Super Hellcat in arcade is definitely a lot of fun. Already our team have, for the most part, pushed through to the enemy area, and they're overlooking the enemy angles of approach, if not their spawn itself. And as I was mentioning, when it comes to armor, the Hellcat definitely does not have that. But in arcade and even in realistic battles, with your ability to duck behind cover and pop out and then pop back into cover rapidly, you have the best armor in the game, which is spaced armor. The space around you will protect, and if you have some allies, you can use them as cover as well. Just maybe not stay too close, or you could become collateral damage when an ally's ammo rack explodes. Another thing to keep in mind, that can happen when you're strafing an enemy and you blow up their ammo rack, and with the 90mm on the Super Hellcat, that is something you'll experience quite often, again, if you're engaging enemies a bit too close to their own position. So we got a sneaky kill on the, what do you call that little fella? The Jagdpanzer 38T. The tank destroyer formerly known as Hetzer. And now we're facing off against a Tiger 2H, which we really can't do anything against, and he's playing very passively, only peeking up when he feels that he's not threatened by the vast number of people that are licking their chops at the periphery of his spawn location. Seems to be a fairly defensive player. He's got a good head on his shoulders, and that's actually making things a little bit boring for me as we climb our booty up the rock and almost flip ourselves over. So it's definitely time to reposition, find something more interesting. Hopefully my allies will cover me as I change position, and if not, well, I'll probably get exploded, won't I? So we have a new target. Well, looks like that tiger found an opportunity to poke out and explodify us, but that's just fine. We have another tank, and now would be a good time to mention that yes, I use a lot of premium vehicles, and if this is something like a guide on how to grind through the event, it's not really fair to me to use all these premiums. But if you're using the regular M18 Hellcat in a lineup with, say, the Sherman Jumbo, in arcade they're at the same battle rating, and you'll experience just about the same dynamic as what I'm doing right here, at an even lower battle rating where perhaps things could be a bit easier. So if you don't have the premium vehicles, the American Sherman Jumbo and M18 Hellcat are both excellent options to bring into realistic or arcade battles as we do some defensive flying in toward the enemy. And it's just difficult for me to get the rockets on target in arcade matches. I'm really used to them firing 2 at a time. Oh, we're just a bit high there, but we do get a critical hit on the Sonderkraftfahrzeug. So again, we're going for assists and base caps at this point. I think we'd already met our quota for destroyed vehicles, but that is as it is. The premium M26 T99 is one of the more rare premium vehicles that are readily available in the American tech tree on account of its steep price. Not only do you have to buy the Sherman Calliope, which is one of the most Golden Eagles heavy premiums in the game, but then you also have to buy the M26 T99 itself, which is not cheap either. And here we're in, what is this, a Yak, I think, and we have 20mm cannons, and they are doing some serious damage. We just went on ahead and finished off the Sonderkraftfahrzeug because he is an anti-aircraft vehicle, and we managed to punch through the roof armor of that Sherman Jumbo, killing several crew. Again, that's going to give us a kill assist at some point. And then can we get the hits on the T28? There's another premium. Even though we got some good hits on the engine compartment, it looks like our rounds are not quite armor piercing enough to punch through that armor, so that's something of a surprise. That brings us to just about the end of the match. We pick up one more kill assist before the end, and we spam rockets just because we can. I had a lot of fun with the M26 T99 earlier in the night, but all in all, that's a good way to finish off that match. It was a lot of fun speedy boying around in the Super Pershing, and getting that surprise shot on the Hellcat worked very nicely for us. The main thing to take away from that arcade match is that they're extremely fast and fast-paced, so you can grind through your base caps and victories very quickly if that's something you need to do. Here, we're actually looking at a replay. This is before I had Shadowplay recording in the background, because before Gaijin did these graphic updates, as we speedy boy through the replay, here we are capping in the what is this thing? M19. Here we are capping in the M19. Obviously this has the dual mounted Bofors 40mm cannons that I love so very, very much. And our goal was to capture the base, so mission complete. Speeding up through the approach to the battlefield in the AD4. I've played around with using the Hydra pods on AD4, and those are a lot of fun to use, but I've actually had better results using bombs and rockets, so that's cool, I guess. The extremely heavy, we're looking at a couple of, I think it's a couple of 2,000 pounders and a 1,000 pounder, or is it the other way around? Either way, yeah, it's a couple of 1,000s and a 2,000, I think, on the wings. And then quite a number, well, according to previous metrics, of high velocity aerial rockets. You see us making those useful against that Italian box tank. What do you call that thing? The Wedge AA. As Tank Baby tries her best to get Uncle Ryan to be fun and do fun things. She's trying to get him to play with her, but he's just sitting there like a lump. Okay, speaking of, there's a bunch of lumps on the ground that are waiting for our love here. So watch this bomb drop as I position the camera for cinematic effect. You can see the bombs are already away. Time has been paused so we can place ourselves in a nice location to observe. This is this is Tank RB, by the way. This is where we got our air assists, and well, you'll see we actually got some good rewards. I already showed you the results screen for this battle, so it was a good one. We've dropped our bombs, we have some rockets left, and I actually forgot that I have those 6 HVARs left on the wings, and it would have been useful for me to remember that. Pretty soon we're gonna strafe some ground targets. I was thinking about returning to base at this point to reload on bombs and rockets. A triple kill is always nice. Ooh, baby, a triple. So that was something I was really excited about, because if I pick up one more kill, then I'll have the 4 kills that I need in an aircraft to get that part of the air medal for the event. So once again, by far, it's the easiest to grind out the air event in Tank RB, because you can respawn, because there's more targets for you to take down. There's just more combat in general. It really works out no matter which air vehicle you want to use. It works out much better that way. And if you're looking for ZAS, of course, American CAS is famous, and it always will be. We love our fighter bombers. And Guppy has a baby shark book. Oh, as we get taken down. Who got us? Who got us? Well, you can probably guess. There's an extremely powerful Italian AA with a rapid-fire 20mm chain gun, or what would you call it? Yeah, we'll call it that. Rapid-fire autocannon. And now, a fighter, ladies and gentlemen, with almost the same loadout as the 84. We're dropping our bombs because there's an enemy fighter behind us. We're trying to defensively fly. We're in a bad situation here. The P-47 is not a nimble fighter by any means, but we're using some negative elevator. We're rolling. We are soaking a few hits, as you can see, but we survived a small amount of damage. We managed to get out of the line of sight of the enemy's guns for just a second, but it's already too late. We forgot about the rockets on our wings. We could have rocketed that Tiger. So things didn't go very well for us in the P-47. But now we have a chance to redeem ourselves in the premium Spitfire. You could also use something like a Bearcat, or at lower battle ratings, Mustang, to fulfill a similar role, although there's really nothing like the Spitfire LF Mark 9. So here we are in the Golden Boy, the American Spit, well, I guess all of them are Brit Spits, aren't they? BF-109, we should be able to outfly him. We have a whole lot more energy. This guy actually was a fairly decent defensive flyer, so he kept us on our toes a little bit, but if you know what you're doing in the LF Mark 9 against, it looks like this is a BF-109G, or maybe an F, he really doesn't stand much of a chance. So at this point, he's probably going to try to run from us, but there's not really any way he can go. We have some really good low-range acceleration. He's doing a good job of avoiding our shots, but again, it's only a matter of time. He pulls a few quick maneuvers when we get close to him to try and get us to overshoot, or at least to survive. We pull up instead of overshooting, and we come back down on him in a high yo-yo maneuver. rolling over, guns on targets. There's the hit we need, and he goes down. We're now up to 4 kills with our aircraft, which means we're going to get our air event medal in this battle. Again, do I need to say it anymore? Tank RB, by far the easiest place to grind out the air event. We're also making a little bit of progress on the ground event, and well, it's just relaxing to fly in Tank RB. There's so much that you can accomplish. Earlier in the match you saw we capped with the M19, and we didn't jump out of the vehicle immediately. We like to stay and harvest as much score as possible in the meantime. That triple kill with the 84 was enough to give us thousands of spawn points to be able to come out in the P47, die horribly, and still have enough spawn points to come out in the Spitfire. If you have clear skies when you're in any kind of aircraft with guns in a Tank RB match, it's definitely useful to strafe ground targets. There's not a whole lot they can do until you get into the realm of radar guided SPAA, or people that know how to use the Kugelblitz or the Coelian, and in those cases you just avoid the areas where those SPAA are operating. It's one of the reasons why you have to have fighter to counter fighters. Speaking of, here comes an enemy coming in hot, close pass, and we don't manage to get the guns on target, but we fire anyway, just in case. And now it's in a turning dogfight, which is a place I definitely have an advantage. And in case that wasn't enough, we have a P47 boom and zooming with him. He's actually getting into an energy fight, and he's the one whose guns converged first on that poor G55, but we sawed off his wing post-mortem just because we could. We're sort of celebrating our dominance of the air here. I and this random P47 ally were definitely enjoying ourselves, controlling the airspace together. We were giving directions to each other in the quick chat, so I was saying things like, follow me as I turn around to take down this enemy fighter that I noticed on the radar. That's no fighter, that's a Stuka! Is he gonna suicide bomb? You bet he is. So that is the end of the Stuka and the end of the match. Hope you guys enjoyed that gameplay showing how I've been grinding out the festive event. Oh, Guppy's saying no. She didn't want that. She wants her tablet. Okay, here you go. Well guys, I had a great time catching up with you. I've really been looking forward to getting back into making videos, and this is just a great time to do it. So Merry Christmas, even though it's already past. I'm still excited about it, from the entire Toshiothunder family, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.